You get your show money and your fight money. So you make a certain amount to weigh in, and then you make a certain amount if you win. If you lose, you don't get that other half. So you always get paid to weigh in. You don't always get paid
to fight.
To fight.
Because if you lose, then you don't get.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Coffee Breakup.
The Coffee Breakup.
Starring Marvin Charles and So yeah, you guys are already here, so please remember, like the video already. Let's get started with some good kind of a good mood by liking the video. Subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell. Comment down below with any comments or whatever. We're on social media as well. You can find all that good stuff later. Let's jump right in.
We got a special guest.
Very special.
It is a special guest.
It's always a special guest.
No, but this one is one because he's a friend of ours, and so
Good people.
Yeah. What's up, Gus? How you doing?
What's going on?
Mr. Gus.
I feel like I'm with celebrities now.
Nah.
What? Look it up. You
Look
should be
who's
saying
talking.
about you.
Look who's talking. What's up, buddy?
I'm good. And you guys? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
I love your guys' podcast. You know that, bro. I tell you all the time every time I see you at the gym.
Yeah, that's true.
So we've been on we've been on a podcast before, us four with a dear friend of ours, Wes.
Shout out Wes. Well, Black Sheep
Yeah.
Perspective.
So yeah, we wanted to get you on for a while now, and so I'm glad we're making it happen. And so, I mean, just to give people a little bit of an idea, I think a lot of our followers, maybe some already know who you are, kind of, but kind of just give them.
Yeah, give us a resume.
I mean, it's definitely a different demographic of followers. We probably
Yeah,
don't
he's
have the
right.
same followers.
Watch us mesh it together.
Yeah.
Leave that
I
to
check
us.
my analytics. Yours is probably more women than men, believe it or not.
you'd be
You think so?
surprised.
We're
Yeah.
pretty.
It depends on the topic, man, because some we have had some episodes where I look at the demographic and it's like 75% men, and it's the one with Casey Chops when he was talking about, like that one was a lot of men, like the demographics fluctuates.
Yeah, of course.
But we are pretty split even, general speaking.
Mine is. I look at my analytics. It's like 92% men. There is-
Oh, I could
It's
imagine.
a straight cockfest on my page.
over there. But then again, the sport that you in.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
it's
I
dominated
don't
by
expect
men.
a girl to be following me and send it to her girls. Oh my God, you see this dope
Yeah.
double leg?
This guy
that
fucking
Gus
beating
just
this
did?
thing in his ass.
Or like, oh my God, babe, look at this hype video that he just posted. Like,
Yeah.
oh, no.
I don't expect, and I always think about it. I'm like, girls are gonna love this.
Yeah.
And then it's nothing but straight dudes in my comments like, bro, you're sick.
Yeah,
I'm like,
man.
oh, you're ripped as fuck.
yeah.
Oh, definitely getting more comments from dudes and girls.
Yeah.
I could see that. So just give us a little bit of your background.
All right, so I'm a professional fighter.
Okay.
For people that don't know, I fight at the Goat Shed Academy. I went pro in literally in the peak of quarantine.
What a time.
Yeah.
Go pro.
So my MMA journey was definitely a lot different than other people. My first 3 fights were with no crowd. Like,
That's true, yeah, because it was during the pandemic.
it was literally quiet. I could hear
Like breathing and shit. Like
my coach wasn't even screaming in the corner. He was talking like this.
And you can hear
Hey, switch sides, jab. Like, it was no screaming, and it was a dope way to see everything, but it definitely took away from the whole experience of MMA. But
Yeah, because you've experienced it, I guess, as a bystander, but as an actual fighter, that's like the first time you're even able to have a crowd.
yeah,
You're not.
exactly. So
That
it
take
definitely
away
took
from-
it took a lot of the fun away.
the hype as well. Like
Exactly.
Walk into like an empty ass arena, like an empty ass
Super
gym.
empty. It was just the cameraman. Like, you're there, like, hype with your music, screaming, and you're like, do I look like a loser screaming right now?
But that's to be obviously the weird times that we are in.
Yeah.
But what about now? I mean,
Yeah.
has things slowly been opening up and getting better and stuff?
Yeah. No, Florida. Everybody knows Miami. We
True,
don't.
Yeah, that's true.
You're the weird one now if you wear a mask.
There's
Yeah.
no chill.
Exactly.
That is
Like,
true.
now here in Miami, I see somebody wearing a mask. I'm like, what the hell is this guy's problem?
Yeah, that guy's
That
that's
guy's
true.
a sucker.
Yeah.
In fact, the other
Trying to
day
be
I was
safe.
like,
Dumbass.
oh, should we wear masks? Remember we had come back from Europe.
Yeah.
You know how we were used to wearing masks every day,
Yeah,
and I was
yeah.
like, oh man, I forgot my mask, and everyone looked at me like, do you not know where you're at right now, bro?
That's true.
Literally.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, COVID doesn't exist down here.
Nah, so yeah.
CDC warning. Sorry, guys.
They're going to shadow ban this.
Right, yeah. Fuck.
Nobody's going to be able to find this episode out.
You gotta type this shit in. Like nothing's coming up.
Yeah.
So now you went pro during the peak of the pandemic, and where you are now, like is that all you're doing? Are you
Yeah.
full-time
So all
fighter?
I do now is I fight. I do have a business that I started about 8 months ago. It's a photo booth business called Flicks and Pics.
Okay.
It's going really well. It's honestly it's a business venture I didn't expect to have a passion for.
Really?
Yeah, because it's weird to see how pictures can make people happy. Like people who are introverts, the second they get in front of that, then now they feel cool.
It's like their own little world.
Exactly. So it's dope. I do it for gender reveals. Yesterday I had one for fights. I had a photo booth at the fights.
Okay.
Big ones right now is the gender reveals. Gender reveals is a big one.
So it's like what is it? An actual photo booth? And then
Yeah, it's a photo booth.
And you just go.
How do they do a gender reveal in the photo booth?
Because I have the program I have has like where you can have props for a gender reveal. So digital props. So it says it's a boy, like when you're taking a picture. It's a girl. So
okay, that's cool.
So people love that, and they'll post it on their Instagram. It go as soon as they take the picture, they type in their phone number, it sends it to their phone, the picture, and then they just post it on their story on their Instagram, and within 30 seconds they already have the picture. So it's dope. It's definitely something I'm really happy with myself for.
Okay.
So yeah, that's something that's definitely I'm glad I tapped into.
I want to ask you something because I mean I know you a little bit beyond the superficial. I know you come from a very I know your parents, not your parents, but your father. He's a police officer, and I think it's in your family as well.
Yeah.
Don't you have another relative?
My brother and both my uncles, a whole bunch of cops.
How was that growing up? Was there like a certain way or certain things that you saw that maybe your friends wouldn't understand, or were you kind of like raised in a certain way, like, oh, policing, like this is now how I'm being raised?
Not necessarily. I think the only difference with my dad being a cop is he saw you know how you always see the better in things?
Yeah.
My dad being a cop, he saw the worst in things. In everything.
Skeptical.
He always saw the worst in everything because that's all he would see. Not always as a cop are you seeing good. You know, a cop's not going to come home and be like, oh, it's amazing. I saw this guy helping this other guy. It's not always the case. So growing up, my dad was a little overprotective, but he's not that type of stern, like military dad. My dad's definitely, he leaves the cop stuff at work.
At work.
And then there's a dad at home. But growing up, he was a little stern with the not being able to go over somebody's house and stay over the night. So
what about your mom? How was the dynamic with your
My mom's definitely more strict than my dad.
Really?
Yeah, my mom was definitely more
Was she
strict.
working also?
No.
She wasn't?
No. So she's definitely, my mom's actually the one that my dad never hit me growing up. It was only my mom. And I feared my mom more than my dad. Till this day, I still
It's
fear her.
crazy.
Damn.
Dude.
Yeah, and my mom's like 4'11", 110 pounds. Like sometimes when she would hit me, it didn't hurt, so I would have to fake it like it did hurt because I didn't want more or her to grab something else.
Did you ever think about maybe going into that career path, like police,
I actually did intern and did ride-alongs, completed the process, like had my interviews for the academy, for Miami-Dade Police Department, and bro, just 1 week to the next, I was like, I can't do that. I'm not gonna be happy with myself.
It wasn't for you.
It wasn't. I was going through that transition of fighting wasn't really paying me anything, so I needed to find an avenue. And my dad especially was always like, would always push me and try to help me as much as possible for the police academy, especially my mom too. And I was like, man, they really want me to do this. I might as well get them off my back. And it was just every day I was just thinking. I was like, man, if I do this, I'm going to regret it every single day. And I from one day to the next, I was like, I stopped cold turkey. And I told my mom, I'm not going to do it. I can't.
How did they feel about that? How was that? You know, like
at first, when I first,
looking at like, oh, I want what's best for him. Imagine he's a police officer like me, like your father, like let's help.
And he was happy about it too. My dad was super proud about it.
That you said no.
No, that I
you wanted to get
that I wanted to.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, was helping me more than anything. He's never helped me with math growing up, but he was helping me.
You don't need it.
Yeah, police officer.
Exactly. But yeah, and at first they didn't accept the fact that I didn't want to do it because fighting wasn't paying any. They didn't see it. My parents are very. You go to college, you get a degree, and
traditional.
Where they're from, if you don't mind me asking?
My mom and dad were born in New Jersey, but my mom's Puerto Rican, my dad's Cuban.
Okay, so Hispanic background.
Yeah, exactly, Hispanic. Very, you know, traditional.
I guess, bro, like even fighting until now, it's getting more mainstream and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you know, our parents probably never realized like two people beating each other up, they're not gonna make a living.
Exactly,
off
exactly.
No, but I think of it more as because, especially from Hispanic parents and Cuban, I think you'd be able to understand a little bit more. Puerto Rican maybe is the same thing. I don't know, but how hard it was for them to come here to the States.
True.
For then you to be born here and say, wow, you know English, you had the opportunity and the blessing to be born here as a citizen, and you're not gonna go to school. People in Cuba, this
die for that opportunity.
yeah. So it's like they were so big on you're in this country, you need to
100%.
study, you need to get a degree, and you need to, but you break out of that. Like most
Yeah.
Cubans, when they come here, they don't have. So what do? They work, and some they hit it big. They have their own company. Others they just work for the rest of their lives because that's all they know how to do.
Yeah,
but that mentality, I think, is what we need to start embracing. Is that entrepreneurial? It's you taking that risk rather than let's go to school.
And there's so many different ways. Like it's crazy to me. I was talking to somebody. There's so many different ways to make a lot of money now.
Well, yeah,
especially with social media.
You haven't heard of
Just
how like everyone's
doing
quitting their
anything.
jobs now.
Yeah.
Because of that.
I know like we like complain a lot about everything is so expensive and it costs a living and stuff like that, which is true, but at the same time it's never been easier to make money. So it kind of offsets that inflation and all those rising costs. So it's a double-edged sword almost, I would say.
If you're broke, it's on you. That's what most people say.
That's a mindset.
Sure, we can
bro.
say systemically certain areas. For the most part, it's like there's so much opportunity that most people are just too lazy to take the risk.
Yeah, I could. I don't know.
Because you don't know people that they're like, oh man, I hate my job, but like I'm working towards something. But other people are like, man, I hate it here. I'm like, all right, what else are you doing?
Oh, right.
Nothing. I go home and I smoke weed.
I'll play video games.
They have
Or
no
play
other
video
passion.
games. And I'm
exactly.
like, okay,
Yeah.
then you deserve to be where you're at. Because what are you doing to be outside of that? They choose to be broke.
No, you're right.
That's a mindset.
Or
anyways, I digress.
Yeah. No. I don't want to. We can go into that rant, but let's not. Okay, so you're a fighter now.
I do want to ask.
Go ahead.
I know you wrestled in high school.
Yes.
Is that where the transition to fighting? How did you get introduced to fighting? Because you had said I was fighting, wasn't making money. I wanted to maybe policing. So before that,
Yeah. So I started training MMA when I straight out of finishing wrestling. I was
right
going
out of high school, or did you go to college?
straight. No, I was not gonna go to college to wrestle.
No,
because I spent my whole high school. I was wrestling every single day. Summer, I wasn't spending it with friends. I was at a wrestling camp in Virginia. Me and my brother, like, we were wrestling 24/7.
that was your life.
Yeah. So then when it came college time, I was like, I am definitely not doing this
Really?
in the time I'm supposed to have the funnest years.
So you feel like you wanted to skip that part, or you'd be like, "Well, I have done enough of it," or
what if? Do you think that if you would also have continued wrestling, maybe it would have taken you to greater heights?
further? Yeah.
I don't think I would have fought if I wrestled in college.
What?
Maybe you would have burned out. You think like?
Yeah, I would have definitely been on a different path. I wouldn't have been fighting if I went to college to wrestle.
The irony to
Yeah.
think that.
Because I've never been a confrontational like fighter, like that aggressive fighter, like a Jorge Masvidal.
Sure.
That guy's just he's a game bred fighter. Like that guy is somebody that used to fight in backyards.
That's true.
I did not do that.
It was
I'm not
during
gonna
the
sit here and tell
Kimbo
people.
Slice days.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and tell people, oh, I fought in backyards.
Yeah, like
Who the hell is gonna believe that?
Your
Would
dad's a
you-
cop.
yeah, backyards.
Like I fought in a club before. Like anybody else. I can pick somebody out of the random street. Hey, you been in a fighting club? 99% of people have been in a fighting club. You're drunk. Stuff happens.
You been in a fight in a club?
Like no, fight in the club, like, push each other.
I've
kick
seen a
the-
fight in the club. I saw some guy hit in the head with a
bottle?
bottle.
It's a way to
Like,
do it.
he said hi to his girl. No, they split everyone up, bro. He was crazy. He started bleeding from his head, and he like collapsed on the floor. And we're all like,
No way.
yeah, I was wearing his blazer because I didn't know where to put it. So I'm literally like in jeans and his blazer, looking at. It was crazy stuff. He was on the floor, blood everywhere.
Is
He was fine. He's alive.
Oh, he's
alive.
okay.
He's good. Yeah, I gave him his
We
blazer.
put like
back.
a rest
gave
in
him his
peace.
Yeah,
blazer.
he left with his blazer on. I
Did you
gave
cover him with the blazer?
No. He survived. He survived. But anyways,
Okay.
that's the only time I saw a bar fight. But other than that, I mean, so then why wrestling? How'd you get into wrestling in the first place?
Honestly, I was huge into football. Like my thing was football growing up. I was like, man, I'm gonna be an NFL player. I'm gonna play in the NFL. Yeah.
What position would you have played?
Football. Deep football.
You were the football.
Honestly, I brought the ball was so big at certain points when I would play that I had to hold it like this.
It's like your torso.
That's what she said.
It's like your torso.
Bro, literally. And it got, well, whatever. So in high school, I went to Westwood Christian at private school.
Yeah.
And they didn't have a JV team, so I had to play on the varsity team.
Oh my God.
I have a little funny story. It's like 30-second story.
Yeah.
I was new to the school, knew nobody. Tried out for the football team. I was fast as shit when in my high school years, like stupid, weirdly fast. And a lot of it was fear. A lot of
This guy's huge.
Motivation of running was fear. So we had our first game of the season. The whole school's out there, and I'm like, I gotta show out.
Right.
I don't know nobody in the school. Nobody knows me. I have to show out right now. We are playing, I think this was like the Miami Dolphins at the time. Like, swear to God, all these kids were big, huge, tattoos.
Yeah.
I was like, what kid has tattoos now?
Yeah.
They ended up being like a second option school. Like a, for like ghetto kids that come out of juvie.
Yeah, they couldn't get, yeah.
It was crazy. I was like, we're going to die. Game starts, one of the people on our team that I used to think was like Superman. I was like, this guy tackles everybody. There's no way. It's going for the guy. The guy has the ball, runs that guy over. I thought was Superman. I was like, holy crap, these people are real. Guy's running. Who's right in front of him? Me. I'm like, I literally told myself, like, I was like, Gus, this is your moment just to trip him or some way tackle him so everybody sees that you are about it. Stand in front of him, bro, runs me over, my helmet comes off, and he steps on me and keeps running.
For real? Ran you over?
Flew, like my helmet flew off, and then he ran on top of me, like ran over me, like a cartoon.
Yeah.
Like just ran over me. His teammate comes and like picks me up by my shoulder pads and like stands me up. Like rubs my head. He's like, "You good, big man?" I was like,
next time.
Yeah.
I literally like looked forward. I was like looking to the side. I was like, God, I'm not coming to school tomorrow.
Yeah. You gotta call in.
What school did you transfer to?
I did transfer to Braddock right after that.
Did you really?
Not after that. Just after my friend. Yeah, coincidentally, it was 2 hours after that. No, but it was
it's like wearing hoodies everywhere.
Yeah.
No, my sophomore year, I actually transferred to Braddock, and then that's where I found my passion for wrestling.
So then did you not want to play football anymore?
I had.
You tried.
I tried. I was playing football at Braddock, and I tried out for the wrestling team, and the wrestling coach confronted me and goes, Sergio, my wrestling coach, love that guy. That guy's completely changed my life. Came out to me and goes, be realistic, man. How far do you think you're going to make it in football? I was like, stayed quiet. He's like, you're born to be a wrestler. Wrestle. That year, I didn't win a freaking match.
Okay.
Actually, I did. One.
Okay.
Against a girl.
Oh, forfeit.
Against a girl.
For real?
Yeah. And it was funny because she like taunted me during the match. She was like throwing her hands up and like trying to scare me in it. And I slammed the shit out of her.
How were you wrestling a girl?
They did that.
For real?
Yeah, guys and girls
Because the
wrestle.
thing is by weight class.
Oh.
So if the girl is
so you were fitting in her weight class?
Yeah, bro. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
What weight did you
I wrestled at 113.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Dude.
Yeah, bro.
But
And at that time, he was a smaller guy, too. Yeah.
113?
Yeah, they started at 103s back then.
Yeah.
For an our time.
Jesus.
At 103. So a girl would walk up wanting to wrestle, and everyone looked like, do you look more like a jerk?
Exactly.
Slamming her and winning? Or do you have to let her win?
No way.
Nah.
Right.
No.
But then, so then you want to give her, you want to like kind of be nice because you're like, oh, you're a girl, you know, I don't want to, you know.
Like annihilate you.
Nah, I didn't believe that. I slammed her on her shit.
A lot of people did that. They literally just went for a head and arm.
Yeah, that's exactly
Boom,
what it
throw
was.
'em
I
on-
grabbed her and just tossed her on her head.
Yeah. Those matches are
And I
fun to
got
watch.
up and I was like,
Yeah, those matches are so fun.
little did I
And
know
everyone
how
was like,
bad I
look at
looked.
this asshole. And he's like,
Like if I just won states, it's like my first match.
damn. So then you fell in love with the sport.
Right.
I got obsessed with it. I got obsessed.
Then when did fighting come?
I met some guy who was a dad of a wrestler I knew, and he's like, hey, come train. He did jujitsu and kickboxing. He's like, yo, come train with me. Let's do some jujitsu. This was after I finished wrestling. Went over there and I would wrestle and I would take him down, and then all of a sudden all of a sudden he's choking me. I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm tapping. Again, I'll take him down, he choked me again. Take him down, he choked me again. I'm like, bro, what the hell am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
Like, this is not wrestling. So then I found a new passion, which was learning something all over again.
Still within the
The same
family,
realm
sure.
of wrestling. It was grappling. So I started doing jiu-jitsu. I went to competitions and I loved it. Then I went into striking. And then he was real with me and he's like, hey, I can't train you out of a garage forever. Like, you got to go to a real MMA gym. Then I went to an MMA gym. I'm not going to name them because I'm not giving them clout.
Sure.
They suck.
Sure.
And they had UFC fighters there. I was in awe. I was like, holy crap. People
Real deal.
beating the shit out of each other. And I was not the type to fight. Like, I was not into the whole getting punched in the face. I was like, I don't know if this is for me. Yeah. First day I'm there, it's a sparring day.
Wow.
Jesus.
I have my mouthpiece only. I have no gloves, no shin guards. And the coaches are like, hey, we have gloves and shin guards for you. Bro, I go in there, and as soon as I'm standing in front of that person, I shoot, take him down. I'm just on top of him.
Okay.
Throwing punches. And then they come up to me. They're like, hey, how many fights do you have? I'm like, 0. He's like, that guy has 6 amateur fights. And he couldn't even get up on you. It's like, yeah, because if he got up, you would beat the shit out of me.
Yeah.
So 2 months in, they come up to me and they're like, hey, do you want to fight next weekend? 2 months into me training MMA, I was like,
so you already had the wrestling background.
That's what I had the
wrestling background.
You had slight striking from the garage.
Slight jiu-jitsu.
Slight
I had
no striking.
Zero striking. Zero striking.
So 2 months in of you getting more jiu-jitsu, more training in wrestling and
2 months in, and I took a fight, and I finished the guy in the second round with a choke. And it was literally like a barn burner. We looked like 2 retards just fighting in the middle, just throwing.
Yeah. Like, you just don't
like
know.
We had no technique at all. It was. I look back at it, I'm like, Jesus, this is embarrassing.
But I bet that's put a light under your ass and say, wow, I want to keep going.
Oh yeah, 100%. That definitely shaped me to like perfect the craft. Like, seeing how many holes I had, I was like, okay, I need to be on my shit, because if not, I'm not gonna be that person who's on their back laying down, knocked out in front of my whole family.
Yeah, dude, that's rough.
Yeah, that's horrible.
So you were more comfortable like getting these people on the ground when you were fighting, because that's kind of your
exactly.
You didn't want to get
exactly. It was my comfort zone.
Okay.
What did your family say because this was before you told them that you wanted to get into the police and
yeah.
So what did they say when you said, hey, I want to fight? Like, or have my fight
at that time. I was 18 years old.
Right.
It was a hobby to them, and it was a hobby to me too at the time. You know, I was working a little side job, and it became a hobby. And then little by little, I quit that side job, and I was fighting full time. You know, get little sponsors here and there to pay for my car insurance, my phone bill. I had my parents still helping me out. You know, I was 18 years old. Then the older I got, you know, my parents were like, hey, what are you going to do? You can't do this fighting thing forever. And then that's where I was like, nah, they're wrong. Wrong, maybe to you, but to me, I can do this forever. And I would see the other people that were doing this, making money and capitalizing and having a good life off it.
Right, but they're not wrong, because you're not going to be fighting. I mean, it's a violent, it's a rough sport. At some
of
point,
course.
You're not going to be fighting in your 40s, right? I mean, even 30s. At that point, you're going to be like, fuck, probably not a wear and tear. So in essence, they're not completely wrong.
Yeah,
but you could build up a brand, and then you can build yourself as a fighter, and then sponsorships, and then make that money work for you.
I think his parents were more concerned about this actual violence
of
the sport in general,
and
to
me,
to see their son.
And I say this all the time. I even told my girlfriend this. It's no shame to my parents. I love them. They're nobody's born to know how to parent. You know, you learn along the way.
100%.
I think to my parents, it's more so of, oh, he's not gonna be famous doing this. There's no way.
Okay.
And I think little by little of them seeing now I'm gonna be in a Netflix documentary, and then they see the promotion I'm fighting on.
Yeah, the fights being broadcasted on TV.
Exactly. They see me. They're he's on UFC Fight Pass. And then they see it little by little, and then my dad's like, "Yo, did you see that this person reposted you? Hey, did you see that?" I'm like, "Yeah." Now I think little by little they realize, like, "Hey, he's doing this."
Yeah, things are falling into place, like you're moving things around.
And I hate to say it, but it's at this point, it's like me, like, proving my parents wrong. And I hate to say that. Like, it irks me to have to say that, but it is what it is.
Did that drive you?
A lot.
Apart from you loving the sport, because you fell in love with it.
Yeah.
What else was like?
It was what I would hear at home.
You can't do it. It's not realistic.
It's not realistic. It's not realistic. I think that is the worst thing in the world. Is that's the worst advice you can ever give anybody is be realistic.
What did I say earlier about coming to this country and wanting to go to school because that's what you got to do it. People are afraid to go off on their own.
Exactly.
And really, so he said, you know what? This is what I love. I'm gonna go after it.
Yeah, no, 100%. But it's also like because you said proving them wrong, but it's also proving yourself right.
Yeah,
I can do this,
of course,
and that this is what I want to do with my life. And to be fair to them, I mean, they had all the best intentions, but ultimately, it's your path, it's your journey, and the only person that you have to prove right is yourself.
Yeah,
you know, and everything else.
Yourself, you'll doubt yourself a lot. That's where the mental health comes in.
Right.
You get that first loss, and you're like, "Fuck, am I meant for this?
Maybe they were right.
Maybe this is not meant for me.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't. Like, I couldn't beat this guy, and there's people better than this guy."
But what happened? What happened after your first loss? What did your family say? How did they welcome?
Well, my first professional loss was, I don't know if any of you guys saw that fight. That's the one with the flying knee. I fought somebody with twice the experience as me.
Yeah, I didn't want to bring it up, but I know eventually we had to.
Yeah, so I fought somebody with twice the experience of me. I dropped him with a flying knee.
I remember.
It was an amazing fight.
Yeah, it was. I feel like it was a huge step for you, but you're like, fuck it.
Yeah, I keep that as my wallpaper to this day. It's a loss. It's literally a loss, and I keep it as my wallpaper just as a reminder.
What does that say? Read it to us.
Nobody can go back and start a new beginning, but anyone can start today and make a new ending.
Damn, I like that.
Chills. I like that shit.
So after that fight, I definitely it proved a lot to myself because I broke my nose in the first round, so I was mouth breathing the whole fight, all 3 rounds.
Jesus.
So I proved I know to myself, I'm like, bro, I got heart and I'm a dog. To my parents, the same exact thing. I don't think my parents thought that I can do that. I get hit and keep coming forward. Get hit, keep coming forward. So it definitely proved them wrong. My first loss was definitely it was a hard one to swallow. That because I'm on a team where we're all undefeated. We have a lot of hype behind us. We had a Netflix. They're filming a Netflix documentary. They were filming it during that.
Right.
So it was definitely a big
like setback, blow almost.
Yeah, shot in the heart because I was like, damn, I'm gonna be the first one on my team on Netflix losing. Yeah, I have wins on Netflix too that they filmed, but it definitely ate my ego up, and it
humbled you.
Yeah.
You think so?
I would say it did humble me to a certain point, but it also was like, fuck, am I as good as my teammates or?
Yeah, you're gonna feel some type of way, bro.
Yeah, and the hardest part for that, and people don't realize, like, yeah, you know, everybody's with you when you win. Even people are with you when you lose. They're there after. Oh, you did awesome. The fight was amazing. Don't knock yourself down. Like, people don't understand when you go home and you're alone laying in your bed. People don't understand the hours, the time, everything that was spent into those 15 minutes of fighting.
Yeah, that's true.
And for it to not go your way in front of thousands of people, it still does affect you. Like it doesn't matter if you win or lose. I mean, it doesn't matter if you lose in a great way or a horrible way. A loss is a loss, and it's always gonna fuck with your head.
Dude, but too bad we did the same exact thing. We're in sync. Too bad. The one thing that I really loved about that is how you had said that your parents at first were like, "Be realistic. Like, this isn't real too." That's my son. Look at him kicking ass. Still not stopping. He's still going.
Yeah.
He's not gonna give up without a fight. Like, he's breathing out all that bullshit. That's awesome. Because now you proved.
Exactly. And then now I get the opposite. Now I get the opposite. My parents asking me, hey, when's your next fight?
See what I mean?
It's different conversations.
Yeah.
It's different things.
Anyone here, follow your freaking dreams.
I'm so big on that, man. Like, I don't care what it is. Like, whatever your passion is, it's fucking drawing.
Draw. We have the power of the internet now.
Do it.
Dude, one of my boys, before you continue, I'm so sorry. He loves comedy, and I'm always like, dude, you can probably just throw up random stuff. He's like, nah, because I have other stuff going on. I'm like, no, you're just a pussy.
Yeah.
Because you know you can do it, and you're choosing not to.
Scared.
Oh, no, but that's just not my thing. I'm like, but you love comedy, dude. and you make everybody laugh, fucking do it. No, because for what? Now it's just an ego thing. Now it's you versus you.
The
It's
two
you
words I
against
love the
yourself.
most is what if.
What if?
What if? What if it works?
What if it
doesn't?
works? What if it doesn't? But what if it does? I'm sorry, you were gonna say something. I totally cut you off. I hope you remember.
That's it.
Oh,
What if it does? And what if it doesn't? All right, you're back where you started.
Yeah.
Pick up something else.
But you're also more advanced than where
Exactly.
you were.
And that'll shape and bring a characteristic out of you didn't have before.
Exactly.
Yeah, especially because you look back and you're like, man, what if I would have done this 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, or 5 years ago? And I feel like that's the worst thing because I'd rather do something and then that it fails. And then I could say, you know what, I tried it rather than what if. Because what if never did this and what if never tried it. And so I think it's a big point.
Yeah.
I got a comment on that. Someone said, oh, well, you should do this. It takes 3 years to do it. And they're like, oh, it takes too long. 3 years, it's going to take forever. But three years are going to happen anyways.
Exactly.
Would you rather let 3 years go by and have that and accomplish that or be in the same spot as you are today without having any of that?
Those are lazy people.
What did I say earlier, dude? It's a choice. Like again, systemically, whatever, that you have those outliers. But at the end of the day, dude, like you have control over your destiny as long as you work towards it. But if you don't even lift up your finger to start, how are you gonna then complain to everyone that, oh, fucking inflation, I can't afford a gallon of milk? Bro, worry about your own money then. Well, how can you make more money then? What are you doing? Oh, but I hate my job. All right, what do you love to do? Draw. All right, how often do you draw? Oh, I stopped. You love it? Yeah. Why? Why'd you stop then? Continue. That's the thing. So for you to say, come here and tell your story, like, yeah, I did it, even with the negativity of my parents,
Yeah,
people are
of
so
course.
heavily influenced on their parents' decisions.
Very much
Go
so.
out and do whatever you want to do. That's what I wanted to say.
And it's hard when the people you want to support you the most don't in the way you wanted to. Not saying that my parents don't support me, but they didn't support me at first.
Back then, yeah.
Yeah, the way I wanted to be supported.
Yeah, and that's your family, because then you have your friends. I read a quote the other day. I said, your biggest supporters are people that don't know you, and your biggest haters are the ones that do. Because then they, like, what is it? They want to see you do well, just not better than them. So when they see you succeed, it's like, wait a minute. But then people who don't even know you, we have people on the podcast so comment like, oh my God, you guys saved my life, or thank you so much. They don't freaking know who we are. But then people who I know every day that I consider my best friends or great friends, they don't even repost my shit.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot
You
of
always
people
have to
like
be
that.
careful. That's why you have to worry about yourself and go after whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I got real pumped up for that one. I feel like I just saw one of Gus's motivational videos on his Instagram.
Yeah. No, but it's true, especially like even for us for the podcast, like, as people are like, oh, you're still doing the podcast? Like, it's just like a phase. Like, no, this is what we do, and we put so much time and energy into it, and we've been doing it for a little bit now. But nobody ever thinks you're going to make it until you do. And then it's like, oh, I knew he was going to make it. I knew they were going to go big. I know them.
I've known him before.
Yeah. But you never supported us.
Yeah.
You didn't even think this was something. So at the end of the day, the only person you have to worry about is yourself. And it
100%.
sounds 100% like that's what you were doing. And, proud of you for where you are now.
I
And
appreciate it, bro.
and the journey, it sounds like it's been a tremendous one. How old are you now?
26.
26. Oh, you're young. Okay, so you been fighting for how many years now? Like professionally? Like
1 year.
1 year only. And that's what you're
I've been
doing.
1 year as a pro, and I have 5 professional fights as a pro. And there's people who've been pro for 10 years and they have 8, 9 fights.
Yeah, you're hungry, but you're going after.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be as active as possible. My coach and me talked, and
Especially during
we're
these
trying to do
years.
6 professional fights next year for 2022.
When is the next one coming up?
January.
Oh, right around the corner.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Damn, you're trying to have like Canelo Alvarez type records.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
He's like, what, 30 years old? He has like 70 fights or some bullshit, like 50 wins. And
I'm trying to
like 60.
right here.
50.
This is what I need. That
Yeah,
money.
That's true.
So you getting paid based off a fight? Like, how does that work? Briefly, I don't want to go too much into it.
Not
but
to go
'cause
into so much details. Make it like simple
very simple.
and cut for everybody to understand. You get your show money and your fight money. So you make a certain amount to weigh in, and then you make a certain amount if you win. If you lose, you don't get that other half. So you always get paid to weigh in. You don't always get paid
To fight.
to fight.
Because if you lose, then you don't get.
Yeah. It's
Are there any extra
There's a
bonuses?
winners and
when it
losers.
comes to-
there is a fight.
they
There
still
is a
do
fight
that?
bonus. I fight for a promotion that gives you a fight bonus if you have fight at a night, submission at a night, knockout at a night. So he'll give you that. That's always an awesome incentive. Then you also make money off of your regionally. Like if you fight for a smaller promotion than the UFC, you make money off of your ticket sales. So if you have a big impact in Florida and
Yeah,
you sell
you drew a lot of people in.
exactly, So if you sell 180 tickets, you make 20% off of that. Every ticket's $65. Making a good little chunk of change.
And on top of that, it would just be sponsors.
Yeah, sponsors is
People who
the
wanna-
most important thing.
Sweet. And okay, perfect.
All right, I want to transition a little bit. So I do want to get into the whole mental health of that. But
Yeah, of
you know,
course.
obviously being the relationship podcast, there's a lot of things that we're growing into, but we do want to at least talk about your status, you know, how that works with your fighting and stuff like that, what you've been through. And then I want to kind of shift towards mental health and what you're starting to do and then how that all ties together.
Okay.
So you are not a single man. You're in a relationship.
Yeah, I am in a
and
relationship.
from my understanding, you were together, you had split. And you came
Yeah,
back.
we were we were together. I met her April 3rd, 2016.
Okay.
At a fight. She actually came with one of my friends to see me fight. She didn't know who I was. I didn't know who she was. My friend came to my house after with her. She's like, "Hey, I'm bringing my friend. Is it cool?" I was like, "Yeah, of course." Come open the door for them, and I see them walking, and I see her. She walks in. I tell my friend, I'm like, "I want to know that girl very well."
Very well.
From that day on, we hung out like every day. I think what sparked that relationship is we became really, really good friends. Like literally like best friends first, and then it ignited the relationship.
So you guys weren't even romantically involved at first. You just built that foundation, that friendship. Is that
Not really, because we didn't even kiss after like 3 months of hanging out all the time.
But
that's
guys,
what I'm saying. You were friends.
Yeah,
first.
yeah.
established that,
Yeah.
I was trying to be more than friends.
What about okay, but eventually we discovered that. So did
Yeah,
she.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So okay. So
She
you guys
wanted-
started dating.
Exactly. She wanted some of the boy.
She wanted some more of that boy, the boy and the boys.
So yeah, we started dating. We were together for about 3.5 years or 4 years, I think.
Okay. Wow. Good amount of time.
Then we broke up. It was a year, and it was just like it was a mutual breakup. We weren't on the same page. It was best for us, and I didn't think we would ever get back together, and I know she thinks the same. I had no ties to her, like not on Instagram, text, nothing, for a whole year. Actually, it's because of you guys that
I'm starting to remember.
We sat down.
Is it ringing a bell for you too?
yeah.
When we were doing the podcast at.
Yeah, the last time we spoke, we all sat
Yep.
together. You weren't. You were telling us about the relationship, but you weren't together. Like you guys were.
No, they
separated.
weren't. He was saying this exact same thing. This is
Yeah.
where it's clicking. I'm like, I remember.
And
this
then 1:30 in the morning, right before quarantine had just started, I get a text from her number, but I didn't have the contact or anything.
But you knew the number.
By heart.
I didn't because I didn't think about it. I saw the first line, "Hey, it's
Okay, fine.
I'm so happy for you. I saw you on this podcast, and it was a podcast of me and you guys on Black Sheep.
Right.
So happy for everything you're doing." 1:30 in the morning, I get this. Like I'm about to go to sleep, and I just like I screenshot it, send it to my boy. I go, "No fucking way." I'm like, "There's no way." He's like, "Oh, how do you feel?" I'm like, "Bro, I'm gonna be honest. My heart is pounding right now." Started talking till like 4 in the morning. And I was like, "You know what? Let me just ask her." I was like, "Hey, you want to go get lunch this week?" She's like, "Yeah, sure." We met up at Shake Shack. We had burgers. We were talking for like 3 hours. Thereon,
It's kind of
Rekindle then.
it rekindled. We were just laughing the whole time, and it was like I felt like I think the biggest thing is I had gained my best friend back.
that's amazing, man. Because you were separated for a year.
Exactly, a year.
What happened? You had said that it was mutual. How much are you comfortable saying? Like where were you guys not aligning anymore?
We had gone through something,
Okay.
and at that point, I don't feel like I was the mature enough version of myself that she needed, and I realized that. But she telling me made me realize it, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna force somebody to be with me if it's causing her pain.
Okay.
So us not being together for a year, I did a lot of stuff that she said I lacked, and I got better at.
You did it for her. You did it for yourself. Though.
I did it for at first I did it for her. And then me realizing me doing it for her is because she saw it was better for me.
And so you started saying that she was right.
She was right. And I've done all of that for myself. And I'm really happy that I did that. You know, and I didn't do it with the, you know, with the thinking that we were going to get back together. I just did it for myself because it's going to make me a better person, you know? So I it was definitely a good breakup, as in like it affected me in a good way. At first, yeah, you go through that depression stage where you're like, fuck, I miss this person. I miss doing this. Everything reminds you of this. It's like a freaking movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't eat here because this is where I used to eat with her.
Yeah, of course.
I freaking Earl's, one of my favorite places. I'm like, I can't go to Earl's anymore, man.
Yeah.
It sucks. So we would go there like every single week.
Yeah.
So you guys split up, but it was like there was no lying or cheating or anything.
No,
like that.
no, it was nothing like that.
So do you feel like maybe that is why you guys were able to kind of get back? Because essentially the breakup was pretty clean.
Yeah.
In the sense that you still had that foundation of like I trust this person and then I love this person.
Yeah,
things just didn't work out.
We slowly started to build that back up. I always had a relationship with, and she gets mad at this. I always had a relationship like really close. I'm really close with her sister. Her older sister is like my sister. Mm-hmm. I love that girl to death, and I would train her in boxing. Her sister like boxes, and I would train her all the time. Even when me and her were broken up, I would still train her sister. But every time me and her sister would talk, my ex at the time never came up in conversation.
Okay.
I never asked how is she. She never brought her up. Like she knew and I knew. Like you don't bring her up, I don't bring her up.
Like a mutual understanding.
Without even talking about it.
Yeah.
Because she would never tell me anything about her. And I would never ask her about anything. And I would never talk to her about, you know, who I was dating at the time.
Okay.
Realizing like, hey, this is my ex's sister. We had a friendship. And it was mutually agreed that, you don't bring up your sister, I won't bring up your sister.
I like that.
How long have you guys been together now? Back on?
We're about to go like on 2 years.
Okay. And how was
No, go ahead.
How was the relationship? How's the dynamic now versus before? You guys have evolved, you guys have been able to see, you guys handle things differently.
Yeah, we definitely handle things different. Like problems that come up now, if they would have came up back then, would have definitely ended the relationship or been swept under the rug. One of the biggest things I think that we have, and I'm so grateful for and so happy for, is communication. Like if something's bothering her, something's bothering me, we'll talk about it. And whether we need the space, we'll give it. And right now, no relationship's perfect.
Right.
I don't care what anybody says. If they say their relationship is perfect, they're lying. Yeah, maybe in your head, but you don't live in that other person's head.
Unless you have those conversations.
Exactly.
Then you're able to identify.
Yes. If you guys are on the same page, then yes.
Awesome. So then you had... So now I wanted to use that to transition that into mental health because